Change him or get rid of him.
Change him or get rid of him. Well, you're thinking like a man with a get rid of him part. Now, he is the father of your daughter. Are you really going to just get rid of him?
No idea.
Yes, you do. And is he the source of your security financially?
Yes.
Are you going to get rid of him? He's the father of your daughter, and he's the source of your survival. Are you going to get rid of him?
No.
No. What are you going to do when you feel insignificant and unloved and uncontributed to and not growing with? What are you going to do?
Make him change.
Make him change. You're right. How are you going to do that? What tools do you have in your arsenal?
Make him stay at home more often.
How are you going to make him stay at home?
Give him an ultimatum.
Give him an ultimatum. What's the ultimatum say?
It says it's you spend more time at home and you don't go off playing with the band.
Or
I'll leave.
And take your daughter.
With you. Or, no, she'll probably say, or you leave.
And I'll keep your daughter.
Yeah.
Isn't your daughter the element that she uses as leverage, even if she doesn't say it?
Yeah.
Isn't that your deepest fear?
Yes.
Isn't that why you're still there?
Yes.
Let's say you left. Sit back out here on the bench 30 years from now and talk about the story of what happened. What do you think? What do you think happened?
When making any important decision, it is useful to sit down and imagine yourself 30 years later, looking back on the decision you made. Tony will now ask for ideas from the group.
Sorry, I think you've got it all wrong. I think you're still thinking as a man when you were trying to think as your wife about using your child as an ultimatum. What she desperately wants is you to love her like she's never been loved before. That's what she's looking for. And then she'll stay, and you'll stay. She wouldn't use a threat as a child if she really truly loved you. She wants your love back that you gave her when you first started, before the child came. Give your wife the love that you got your child, if you like, but give your wife the love that she's looking for. She would never, ever use a child if she really loved you as a weapon against you, if she really loved you.
Now I got a question. How do we know if she's using the child or not? And then when someone's going to lose love, and that's survival for them, what will they use in a position of survival to try to hang on?
Anything.
So I really appreciate what you're really saying is I wouldn't do that. And I honor you for that. But some people would use anything. And I don't know what she's used. I only know his perception. And I knew that was his perception before he answered. What do you think is going to happen if he leaves? Let's say he finally says, I'm fed up, I can't stand it, I love my daughter, I'll figure a way to spend time with her, I'll make it happen, she'll understand someday, and he leaves. And he takes the band and goes off and feels free. First of all, would he feel good leaving for a moment, yes or no? Oh, yeah. And then what's he going to feel?
Shit.
See, it wouldn't be bad if he wasn't such a good boy. If he wasn't somebody who needed love so desperately, he could just go. He's a bad boy, he's a good boy, he's light and dark, he's an integrated soul. He's a really great balance of the two, isn't he? That's why he's so likable. Because you go, this is a good man, and he can kick some ass too. I like that. You know? He's not an arrogant asshole. He's really not significance-driven, but he needs to feel like a god. Every man needs to feel like a god, ladies. And you think, oh, they're so stupid. If you think that, boy, you're really going to make them feel like a god. They're going to want to be around you, aren't they? You make your man feel like a god, he'll make you feel like more than a goddess. Are you married, ma'am?
Divorced.
You have children?
Yes.
And you didn't use those children as a weapon?
No.
Did you divorce your husband, though?
Sorry?
Did you divorce your husband?
Yes.
Yes. But you took the kids with you?
Yes.
Yes. So for women, very often, this is not as big a challenge. Because they know, I'm not going to have to give up love. I'll take love with me and everything else. And in most places in the Western world, I'll also get half the money anyway, so, we'll make it go.
By speaking to this woman, Tony is clarifying for Neil what is at stake in his decision.
What's going to happen for this man, by the way, if he decides to stay?
If he doesn't communicate with his wife, then he'll probably die inside.
He'll probably die inside.
I think so.
But how would he have to communicate to her? because he feels insignificant and uncertain, and he feels almost no variety with her, and he feels almost no growth, no contribution. What's he going to communicate?
I think his starting point is what he's learned about himself this week, and the values and masculinity and femininity, and maybe take some of the tools that he's learned, the strategies that he's learned from this, and send his wife here.
Send his wife here? Okay. Well, I'm not going to go to that Tony Robbins bullshit. Oh, yeah, you want me to become like you again. You want me to like rock music, too. He probably plays loud rock music there, for all I know. Who said that? I'm curious. If she thinks she'll lose him, he'll go? She'll go?
Last year, my husband came to Date with Destiny, and he spouts you for the last 15 years of his life. He spouted, Tony, 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 Tony. I don't want to hear Tony. I don't want to hear Tony. And he went to Date with Destiny to Bahamas, left me home in New Jersey in the snowstorm. And he went anyway. Should I go? The power's out, but should I go? I'm going to go.
Yes, and you probably just blessed him on his way, didn't you?
He called after the first or second day and he was transforming. I didn't want to hear him. I didn't want to talk to him. I didn't want to hear it. I'm here. I'm home. I'm by myself with the two boys and in a snowstorm and dealing with everyday life, and you're in Bahamas. I don't want to hear it. So he came home. He walked in the door, the man I met.
In what way was he the man you met?
His whole face, his whole demeanor, he was the man I fell in love with. And it got me excited. He was...
Yeah, give him a hand for that, I think.
He said he wanted to renew our 10th anniversary, and I still wasn't totally hearing it. I was excited, but I wasn't totally there. And then we had some fights and stuff.
So then you knew he really loved you.
Yeah. And a few days later...
Did you guys see that? Did you guys just see that? That's one of her ways of knowing that you love her. Now, I want you to remember that. Because your idea of a fight might be her idea of knowing that you care. I don't know. I don't know her.
What was interesting was I sent her a text message last night. It was 5 o'clock in the morning or something. So I just wanted her to have this message for when she woke up, so that, she had this communication from me. And I just said...
Did you want to send it because you wanted to have communication, or did you want her to feel loved?
Well, what the message said was, I said, look, doing some really heavy shit, and I just want you to know that I love you no matter what you say, do, think, feel, whatever.
Oh, very nice. That's good.
Just so you know, she may not want to hear this right now. Because, again, you're here. She's home. She's still in life. You're here. I went to UPW in Florida in February. I came back from UPW a different woman. A loving woman, open woman, the woman who went and had variety and brought spice into our marriage and our life. And it was going great. It was amazing. And then things, when life came back and we bought a house and moved and, things went to shit again and sex was just sex.
Right.
And so it was always sex.
It's always what?
It was always sex. Back to the sex.
Yes, I know, back to the sex thing.
That's
why you picked him, by the way. That's why you picked him, by the way.
He's the best thing in my life. He's everything. And he's shown me that I can be a woman and be open and I could do crazy things and he'll love me no matter what. And he's there for me. And I let him be there for me.
And what's going to happen when you go home now? I mean, will it be okay for a while and then it'll go back to shit and everything?
It'll be fabulous for hopefully forever because I'm going to work on it and keep working at it.
It won't be if you work on it.
It won't be.
Because if you work on it, it'll be okay for a while. Intent and desires and momentum are great, but they have to become rituals. Now, ritual doesn't mean it's the same every time. It just means that there's a time that something's going to happen. And it doesn't get past that. And also what you're going to find is it won't change unless you change what we're going to find out today, which is you have some beliefs and rules that are it up. You probably had a question that it up too. What was your old question?
According to human needs psychology, everyone has what we call a primary question that they ask themselves over and over across contexts during the course of their life. This primary question exerts an enormous influence over the direction of your life. Someone who consistently asks themselves, how will I accomplish this, will have a very different life from someone who is always asking, why am I not good enough? Let's hear what her primary question is.
First, it was, why do I question everything? And
That one takes the cake, I think.
I do, and, why isn't anything I do good enough?
Why isn't anything good enough? So as long as you have that question, listen to me, why isn't everything I do good enough? Everything else we're going to do will be a waste of time. Because what's going to happen is he's a man. He's going to see something, want to do something, create something, because what a man is always trying to do is more. Because see, for a woman, it's like, why can't you just appreciate what's here? But that's not what masculine energy is about more. Bigger, broader, stronger, more, create more. That's the drive of masculine energy, is more. Feminine energy is more, but it's filling up with more. So she's going to interpret the meaning always, no matter what's happening, as like, well, why am I not what?
Enough. Good enough, yeah.
Which is her deepest fear. So when she goes to that deep fear, then she'll go into her behavior, which is usually probably gentle, soft conversations with her husband, touching him gently. Oh, that's not how you are. That really surprises me. She prides herself on being a fighter. Correct?
Yeah.
I mean, after all, strong girl. Come from New Jersey, New York?
New Jersey.
That's right. Jersey girl. And also she knows she's loved by fighting. It's one of the ways she knows. On top of that, not enough. So she is going to create situations, even if it goes perfectly, that will it up, because it up for her is knowing she's loved. Because if I can it up and you still love me, you really love me. Slippery slope.
Yeah.
Because if you're honest, and you tell me if I'm wrong, there are moments where the party just wants to say it.
Yeah.
Just as Tony was talking about the importance of giving, Neil has brought the conversation back to the matter of their compatibility. When things get difficult, it is tempting to disengage from your commitment in the relationship and tell yourself that you and your partner don't really belong together. Tony is calling this the cheap way out. In relationship, it is important to carefully consider your selection of your partner, and when you commit, to commit strongly for the long term. Without this commitment, the relationship cannot grow. So Tony will try to help Neil determine once and for all whether his values and goals are compatible with those of his wife.
What I'm saying is, maybe everything you say is true, meaning your perception is these things are different. Goals in life. Her goals are to?
No idea. I have no idea what her goals are.
So you can't leave. You have no clue. You've been too focused on yourself, even though you're a good man. Nature. What's her nature?
She's...
Not when you're mad, not when you're frustrated with her, when she's feels herself, not when she's stressed. What's her nature?
She's more of... she's very creative in her own way. You know, she's into art, she paints. She doesn't do it often enough because she always says she's not good enough, even though I said, you know, the stuff you do is fantastic, let's put it up on the wall. You should sell this to a gallery, you should exhibit. Oh, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough.
But that's the female form. Women do that with each other. Oh, yes, you are. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. Oh, no, you're better. No, I'm not better. You're better. That's one downsmanship. She's begging for your attention.
Yeah, which I give.
I don't know, but she wants so much more. Now, that's not phasing him. He's going, I don't have any more time in my life.
I've got plenty of time. You're right. You can make time.
That's right. Good for you. So you don't know what her goals are. You know her nature. So do you like that nature, that artistic nature? Does that appeal to you?
Yeah, I love it.
In fact, isn't that part of your nature?
It is, but she represses it on herself.
No, she's begging for you to be her man and show her the artist inside. She's begging for that. She picked you because you were a bad boy who she figured would rip her open. But you ripped her open for a while, and then you went off and decided to rip open your band.
She's the artist. Maybe she should paint me naked.
I bet an invitation like that would get her interest. But I'm sure what she'd probably do is, why? It's too small. That's probably what she'd say right now. I'm terrible. I'm just saying what she's going to say. You know, is she going to try to test him, yes or no?
Yes.
The minute you come home, she's going to go, this is that Tony Robbins bullshit. Oh, yeah, I'm going to paint me naked. You know she's going to do that. And you go, I'm going to my band. At least there I'm God. Why should I go home and be treated like shit when I can be God? There's no commitments. It's over. I can be God again. New people, new variety, new elements. I feel desired and wanted. I can rip the room. The only problem is there's no spiritual growth in that, my friend. That's why the greatest fear is always going to be in your intimate relationship. That's why the path of intimacy is 10 times more powerful as a spiritual path than the path of isolation, where you go and meditate or go and pray. Any idiot can do that. It doesn't take a man to do that. But that doesn't mean you have to give up your band. That's a juice for you. You can take that juice and make it happen. But you're taking that juice of total command, and you're going home, and you're like Clark Kent. It's like your wife is kryptonite. Out here, man, you can rip open anything. You make it all happen. You know it. You own it. You go home and like, what do I do now? How do I do this? What's going to go on? True?
Yeah.
Neil can be a god on stage, but when he goes home, he can't even handle his wife's arguments. He needs to take his wife's tests and arguments as a challenge, the way he would take on challenges at work or on stage. If his wife argues with him to test him, he needs to bring up his energy so that he can joyfully take on and pass the challenges and the tests.
Unless I do something to make you pay attention, called a fight. At least then I get your energy. And oh, by the way, she likes your bad boy energy. You forget that. She'd love your bad boy energy. But here's the problem. Did you see his face on that? Here's the problem. She's your wife. Yeah. Because, do you really your wife? Do you do the things with your wife that in the darkest images of your mind you've thought about or maybe experienced with a band before you knew her?
Quite a lot, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
When was the last time?
Probably about 6 months ago.
6 months for a man in dog years is 1,000 years. 6 months for a man sexually, is that not like...
You're talking about the dark stuff, though, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Oh, you're just talking about period or dark stuff?
No, I'm talking about the dark stuff.
That's what I figured, too.
Yeah.
So I said 6 months for a man is like dog years, right? So that's like 42 years, 42 months. Am I right or wrong about that? Meaning it doesn't just feel like 6 months for a man sexually, because a day for a man is like, 6 months. Exactly. Thank you. So, you don't know her goals. Her nature actually is aligned with you. That's unfortunately encouraging.
It is if she follows it.
No, that's your job, not hers. You want a band member at home? You want a guy that you can count on that'll be there to do the thing you need to do at the moment you need to do it?
No, I want her to do the things that she loves.
Oh, so you want to be a level 2 game. Now I know why you have no passion. How many just heard that? Level 2. I want her to do her thing. She got to do her thing. Be there. I'll do my thing. We'll come together and do our thing. You can leave her and you'll be in the same place, but same thing.
Tony teaches that there are 3 levels of relationship. In level 1, both partners are looking after getting their own needs met without regard for the other's needs. In level 2, the partners focus on fair exchange. You let me pursue mine, I'll let you pursue yours. Neil's assumption was that his wife should let him do the band and he should let her do her art. In level 3, the partners focus on giving to each other unconditionally before any thought of receiving. In order to enjoy level 3, Neil would have to be giving to his wife in every way, taking care of her even in her realm of art and creativity. Only when he makes that level of commitment will he learn to balance his marriage with his outside interest.
It's also convenient because you get to do what you want. You don't have to take on the same level of responsibility because that feels like it'd be less free. But what if you could be completely free with your wife, not intellectually and verbally and sometimes sexually, I mean free to be a man? So her nature, unfortunately, seems to be aligned with you. Now let's look at her need structures. Which of the 6 needs is her core driven by? Not how she's operating right now, because you're operating like shit right now too.
Yeah, I would say her core is love and connection.
Yes. So if her need, and by the way, what is your number 1 in your core?
Love and connection.
Yes. So what I tell you is the most important thing to know the answer to the question if this is the right person or not. Get rid of all the bullshit and the stories and the triggers is the need structures. If those need structures, if you share one of those 2, this relationship can be extraordinary. My bet is you don't just share one of the 2. What is number 2 for you? Really in your core, not how you behaved, in your core.
Contribution.
What's number 2 for her? In her core.
I would probably say certainty.
And the truth of the matter is, that's how she operates, and it may be true, but that's how you operate as well. That's what this is all about. You want to be certain. That's what this whole discussion's been about. You want certain love. That's also why you've been a good boy, too. You're more like her than you know. So here's what my recommendation would be if you'd like it. And you can decide if it makes any sense. 1, can't leave till you've truly looked at the elements you know are true and given those elements. Until you've lit her up at level 10 in each of these areas and you figure out what does it take for her to feel loved. Say, write down 10 things that if I did them, you'd know I love you. Tell me what they are. Just write, you don't tell me to write them down. You write them down. What else? Tell me what else. What else makes you feel loved? Tell me. How would you know? Rules. And then you'll see, that's, you might say, I don't like that, or okay, God, I never do that. No wonder. I do this, I think that makes her feel loved, but that's not her rule for love. She has a different rule. I've been doing all this stuff, though. She should feel loved. She should, but that's not her rule, so she doesn't feel it. So you find out what is it that will make her feel that way, and you fill her up. That's 1. 2 is you find out what her goals are. What is she really after in this life? 3 is you take a harder look at these elements. 4 is you fill her up so much that she wants to give to you now, and she says, honey, go to the band. Go do it twice a week. No, not always. Somebody said, when you give, you get. I said, no, not always. But you won't know until you give completely and totally. And what I would do is, so it's not a cop-out, because I know it's this guy, otherwise you're going to go back in this back-and-forth decision mode. You say, I'm going to do, for the next 90 days, I am not going to have a thought about leaving. All I'm going to do is fill this up, and I'm going to schedule a day with myself 90 days. I'm going to look at my life, and I'm going to evaluate, did I really give every ounce of my soul? No bullshit. Did I figure, do I know what she needs and values? And then you can look at this piece, and you'll know. 1 of 2 things will happen. If you really did that, you'll have lit her up, and she'll be lighting you up, and your life will be different. Or you'll come back out, and you'll say, we really are truly different. Goals, values, directions. But if the same means she's a man, and she's going to suddenly go for her gift without you giving full attention, or if your idea is that she's going to blossom without you giving 10 times more attention, even though you're already overwhelmed with work and everything else, then you're just a pussy, and you're going to go away, and you'll go through this again. Because you'll find somebody else who will light you up initially and everything else, and then you go through that process, and she'll tell you she doesn't want to have a kid, and pretty soon you'll have another kid. And then you'll be worried about your daughter and your son, and then you'll be older, and you won't be a band guy anymore. What do you think?
Fantastic plan.
Great.
The band.
Or
I'll leave.
And take your daughter.
With, yeah. Or, no, she'll probably say, or you leave.
And I'll keep your daughter.
Yeah.
Isn't your daughter the element that she uses as leverage, even if she doesn't say it?
Yeah.
Isn't that your deepest fear?
Yes.
Isn't that why you're still there?
Yes.
Let's say you left. Sit back out here on the bench.
That's what she's looking for. And then she'll stay, and you'll stay. She wouldn't use a threat as a child if she really truly loved you. She wants your love back that you gave her when you first started, before the child came. Give your wife the love that you got your child, if you like, but give your wife the love that she's looking for. She would never, ever use a child if she really loved you as a weapon against you, if she really loved you.
Now I got a question. How do we know if she's using the child or not? And then with some 30 years from now and talk about the story of what happened. What do you think? What do you think happened?
When making any important decision, it is useful to sit down and imagine yourself 30 years later, looking back on the decision you made. Tony will now ask for ideas from the group.
Sorry, I think you've got it all wrong. I think you're still thinking as a man when you were trying to think as your wife about using your child as an ultimatum. What she desperately wants is you to love her like she's never been loved before.
Change him or get rid of him.
Change him or get rid of him. Well, you're thinking like a man with a get rid of him part. Now, he is the father of your daughter. Are you really going to just get rid of him?
No idea.
Yes, you do. And is he the source of your security financially?
Yes.
Are you going to get rid of him? He's the father of your daughter, and he's the source of your survival. Are you going to get rid of him?
No.
No. What are you going to do when you feel insignificant and unloved and uncontributed to and not growing with? What are you going to do?
Make him change.
Make him change. You're right. How are you going to do that? What tools do you have in your arsenal?
Make him stay at home more often.
How are you going to make him stay at home?
Give him an ultimatum.
Give him an ultimatum. What's the ultimatum say?
It says you spend more time at home and you don't go off playing with